Okay, so we are reading Liquid Luck by Joe Gallenberger. We are on chapter 1, Happiness and Grounding. I would like to make this disclaimer that this session is going to be recorded and posted on our website and various other sites. So please make a note of it. And by attending the session, you are giving permission for us to do so. Please, Shimangla, you can go ahead.
Liquid Luck, Chapter 1, Happiness and Grounding. I received the Liquid Luck CD Thursday afternoon. On Friday, I took the time to sit down and listen. When it was finished, I walked into the kitchen where I noted a flyer from my house magnetized to the refrigerator door. My home has been on the market since April 12th. Circumstances have not been optimum for selling with the highway road construction project a block away. There are 2 other homes on my block for sale, and my house hasn't had any viable interest in 4 months. I walked up to the flyer and put my hand on it and said, I would like this sold. I kid you not. Within an hour, my realtor contacted me with an offer. After a couple of days of negotiations, the contract was ratified just about an hour ago. I wanted to wait until all the signatures were in before I told you about it. Thank you, Joe, for taking the time to do this. PA.
So what is it attempting to say, right? When we put ourselves into a state of consciousness, into a state of being, which allows manifestation to manifest, that is when the magic starts to happen.
I would first like to talk about the core of the Liquid Luck meditation to introduce the special sacred energies that in a deep meditative state are accessed during the exercise. We will be exploring each of these energies in detail as this book progresses because these energies, if lived daily, will create a miraculously fulfilling life. In Liquid Luck, once the listener is relaxed, has offloaded any limiting emotions and beliefs, and has raised their energy to a very high level in a manner that we will later discuss. Here is the wording used about 12 minutes into the exercise. The words concerning happiness, the topic of this chapter, are in bold for emphasis. Within your expanded awareness and energy, in touch with more of who you truly are, you can create a new reality by imagining a new pattern vividly. This is the pattern we call liquid luck. Immerse yourself deeply into the experience. Experience the pattern as though it were already here, right in this very moment. Flowing in beautiful energy, design your pattern now as I guide you.
So what are we doing? We are putting ourselves into an expanded state of consciousness, and then we are going through the meditation. So the hemisync signals are going to take us into that state, and then over there we are going to create. So when we are creating a pattern, it has to be for yourself. It has to be in the moment. You have to, as if it's already achieved. Okay, these two are very, very important when you're creating a pattern. You cannot really pattern for anyone else because it's your consciousness that you're patterning.
Now imagine that you are a wizard or alchemist of considerable power and wisdom. Feel the comfortable and flowing garments that you are wearing and look around at your familiar sanctuary where you study, practice, and expand your skills.
So again, now what is this? You are operating, you are creating a safe environment for yourself, right? You are walking the talk. That's why in shamanism also, one of the exercises that is done by shamans is that they have a ritual of wearing certain clothing, right? When you're invoking an animal spirit or invoking or wanting to merge with a helping spirit, which is an animal, you actually can dress up like the animal also. So what it means is that you're getting into the flow, you're getting into the field of that particular thing. So when you have a safe space, what is the garb you wear? What is it that you use, or what is the totems that you have when you are wanting to manifest? Like most of the wizards and the magicians, etc., they have a wand, right? So that is their totem, that is their thing. When they have it in their hand, they can actually achieve a lot of things. So the magic is not in the totem, it is more in the person, but the totem amplifies the effect and the magic. So dressing up as a wizard in your mind's eye also will help you to achieve stuff.
Today, you are creating a wonderful new energy potion with very desirable and magical properties called liquid luck. This potion, when swallowed, brings the drinker a day where everything fortuitously falls in place for great benefit. On this day, synchronicity, serendipity, grace, and positive energy abound, bringing you easily and joyfully to your highest good and desire. This potion brings the clarity to notice just the right thing at the right time, the impulse to move with just the right timing in the right direction, and the courage to act on these intuitions with great trust. This is an excellent potion to use whenever you desire help to achieve your goal or even something better.
So you're creating a portion in your mind's eye. Okay. Now that portion could be a vibratory frequency. It could be a feeling. And then it says over here, you are making that portion which will allow you to observe when is the right time to do something, when is the right moment to do something, and what is the thing to do in that particular moment, and what is the direction you want to move in. So it will create an intuitive ability for you to be precisely in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing.
With great excitement, you begin. Imagine gently holding in front of you a small clear glass container that holds a sparkling liquid within. See this beautiful liquid swirling and sparkling before you. Now, into this liquid, you begin to send very high and special energies. Say out loud or in your mind, I am happy. Feel happiness and send this energy of happiness into your potion, the wonderful energy of a soaring spirit filled with joy.
So you're pushing I am happy into the while. Now, when I say I am happy, I'm automatically on the right side of the grid, of the resilience grid, and I'm in an uplifting state of being or consciousness.
Then say, I am grateful, feel gratitude and send gratitude, concentrating it into your elixir, thinking of all the wonderful blessings in your life and feeling your gratitude for them, and sending this energy into your potion.
So again, I am grateful puts you on the right side of the grid. And one thing I have realized very clearly when we used to go for naturally for COVID, I've hardly been going. But when we go into a person's space, there is a frequency. I've spoken about this before. It's the navel frequency. I call it the happiness quotient, right? What I have found is if that frequency is missing from the environment, that means people are not happy in that environment. Now, you cannot be happy if you do not appreciate and are grateful for what you have, right? So gratitude for what you have becomes so important, or even what you're going to get is so important for you to really go in the right direction in your life. So gratitude is extremely important. So we are putting gratitude into the portion.
Next, say, I am abundant. Feel abundant and send the energy of abundance remembering all the ways in which you are already highly abundant and sending this energy into your liquid.
So remembering all the ways that you are already highly abundant, that automatically again raises your energy level. If you're cribbing, I don't have this, I don't have that, you're in a depleted energy state. But when you see, I have so much, I'm so grateful for having so much, we are living in abundance, and abundance will create more abundance. Okay. So we are pushing that into the wild.
Now say, I am compassionate. Feel your beauty, dignity, and sacredness, and your compassionate connection with all beings in their beauty, and send this energy of compassion into your portion.
So we are all living beings. We are connected with everything else, right? If I'm not compassionate about something, if I don't care for something else, then literally speaking, I'm not caring for myself. Now, if I'm wanting something and I'm not caring for myself, how am I going to get it, right? So compassion for all living as well as non-living things in our environment becomes extremely important.
Say, I am love, and fill your container with the highest of love for yourself and all of creation. Now let your heart expand further and join with spirit in joyful praising of all that is. Say, I praise all, and send this praising energy into your elixir. And
So
now,
the two primordial sources of emotions, right? Fear and love. We are putting love into the portion, and I'm saying I praise all. So I'm in appreciation of everything around me. So when I'm in appreciation, again, it automatically pulls me to the right side of the grid. I am in a position to manifest.
and now add the last magic ingredient. Say, I am lucky, and send all good fortune, synchronicity, and blessing into your portion.
So I am lucky. I am unlucky. What do you consider yourself to be, right? So we are pushing the thought that I am lucky into the wild.
Take a few more moments now to complete your creation. Now, with your design complete, bless it with great light, great love, and to the highest purpose for your good and the good of all others. Gazing at your container of liquid luck, say to yourself, this creation is my intention. So be it. So be it.
So we are sending power of intention into this creation. That is that vial that we will consume when we need the luck to come into our lives.
As you can see, the first energy introduced, the first energy to go into the vial is happiness. Happiness opens us up to be receptive to new experiences. Can you recall a time when you were feeling blue, bored, or tired, and someone suggested a new activity such as going to see a movie or play tennis? Usually, we resist such a suggestion when in a funk. By contrast, if we are feeling happy, we are more likely to say yes, look forward to the new activity, and participate more fully, thereby increasing our enjoyment and happiness further.
So let's say you're walking down a street and you're in a grumpy mood and you're feeling very angry and agitated, and someone bangs into you. What do you think is going to happen? The chances are that you're going to land up in a fight. Now, you're walking down that same street and you're really in a high, happy and a joyful mood, and someone bangs into you. The more likely event is that you're going to shake hands with that person, say sorry, and maybe make friends with that person and have a cup of coffee with him, right? So whenever we are happy, we put ourselves into a state of mind and being to actually create more happiness in our lives. When we are brooding, get into a negative spiral, and we create more brooding and sadness into our lives. So the first thing to go into the while is happiness.
Happiness is a very powerful state of mind. In fact, it is central to grounding, which is essential to powerful manifesting. It is almost impossible to create the life you desire without being grounded. So, before we talk about how happiness affects grounding, let's explore grounding a bit further.
So, even in the excursion workshop, we constantly talk about grounding. Grounding is extremely important, right? Now, if I'm flying in the air and I really do not know what my capabilities and capacities are, then I'm not going to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. So grounding becomes extremely important. Now, when we are looking at frequencies, when we talk about it in the frequency patterns or the waves of beta, alpha, theta, and delta in the excursion workshop, we say that if you want to go into gamma, which is the higher frequencies or a higher thinking process, first you need to dwell into delta. Get that grounding like a trampoline, right? If you want to jump high, I need to jump low. So that grounding becomes very important, which allows us to take off. So he very clearly says here, in fact, it is central to grounding, which is grounding, which is essential to powerful manifesting. So without being grounded, it is literally impossible to manifest anything. So where are you? What are you? That grounding becomes very, very important.
I emphasize grounding as an essential part of manifestation. At our deepest levels, many of us are not 100% sure whether we really want to be here in physical reality on planet Earth. This is understandable. There is a lot of pain, confusion, struggle, and darkness here. So we live slightly out of body and disconnected from the present moment, flicking our attention between the past and the future to try to protect ourselves from pain. The impact of pain is dulled if we are not fully present. But if you wish to manifest your dreams into your life in a rapid, clear, and powerful way, you need to be fully here and present in your body. This is what we mean by being grounded. You are the anchor that pulls things in.
So what does this imply? Okay, most of the time, if you look at your thoughts, you're either in the past or in the future. But what is in our hand? It's only the present. When we read the power of now, that is what we were talking about, right? To be in the present, because the action is taking place here. Now, if I'm not here, I'm somewhere else, then I'm not doing what I'm doing over here, nor am I doing what I was doing. So to take the example that Shobha Bhavi made right in the beginning of the session, she said that she was doing her puja, but her mind was thinking of something else. So was she doing the puja or was she doing something else? In my view, she was doing neither. Okay. The idea is that if you want the pure power of whatever you're doing to really manifest in your life, then you have to be present to everything. So becoming present becomes very important. And that is the essence of becoming grounded. So you know that you're here. And what is it? What is it that keeps you here? The vehicle that we are operating, the hardware that is being operated by our software is the physical body, right? So our software has to be connected with the physical body for the manifestation to take place.
I emphasize grounding as an essential part of manifestation.
We finished, Rishi Mangla.
Many meditation systems serve to pull you up and away from physical life. This is great for relaxation and transcendence, but such connection to spirit needs to be integrated with grounding for effective manifestation. For example, we have learned that the most powerful healers, shamans, highly successful business persons, and athletes are very strongly grounded, yet expanded in energy at the same time. Many books on manifestation fail to emphasize this and produce disappointing results. Grounding is a key secret to mastering positive creation.
So I share this in a lot of occasions. I don't know if I've shared it in this forum, that we were doing a gateway voyage in Hyderabad. Okay. Now, that was the only gateway voyage that we have conducted in India outside of Calcutta. So most of the participants, rather, I think all the participants had done the excursion workshop. So they had already experienced the focus level 10 and the para has not been skipped. We have just done it. So they had actually experienced focus level 10 and focus level 12. So till we were doing focus level 10 and 12 in the gateway voyage, they were absolutely smooth sailing, no problem. And then we hit focus level 15 and all of them started getting ungrounded. They started getting woozy. So in Bua's house, there are two trees, two very big gulmohar trees that she had. And let me tell you, we had to send each one of the participants out to hug the trees to ground so that they could come back into this physical world from which is the launching pad to go into the expanded states. So whenever we want to expand, it is very important to be grounded, to be grouted. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to expand because everything has to have a fulcrum from where to move out. So he clearly says that most shamans, good shamans, etc., are very strongly grounded, yet expanded in energy at the same time. So if you have a big energy, but you're floating around, not set anywhere, then that really doesn't work as far as manifestation is concerned.
Being grounded is defined for our purposes as bringing your spirit fully into your body, suffusing the body with energy and light, allowing the physical and emotional body to speak to you without repression, appreciating your connection with the earth and allowing its sacred energy into you so that you are fully spirit and flesh at the same time and your energies are focused in the present moment. This is your birthright to be the X point bridging heaven and earth, body and spirit. And to me, the center of the X is in your heart.
So we need to be connected emotionally, physically, mentally, as well as spiritually to really be integrated when we want to expand. And if you're only in the mental zone, then getting connected becomes a problem. So we need to shift our attention a little bit from the mind and the brain where we have it all the time, because most of us are logically minded, to the heart area, which will give that connection and that power to be able to expand our energies. And of course, connection with the earth, actually saying, appreciating the earth. Many times what happens is that when we go into a space, we find that the people living in the house are really criticizing the house, criticizing that the space that they are living in all the time, right? And then manifestation can never take place. The reason is that you're not in harmony, you're not in appreciation, you're not in gratitude for what you are availing. You're not in gratitude to the earth that you are living on, right? There was one of my, I consider him one of my teachers, Ramji Lalji Pandit ji the. He constantly used to tell me that before you get out of your bed, say pranam to the land and say thank you for allowing me to tread on you, right? Now that's a very powerful prayer in itself, that today we are here because of the earth. If the earth wouldn't have been there, we wouldn't have been there at all. So gratitude to the earth and keeping our connection open to the earth becomes extremely important. You can see that, even electricity has to be grounded. Otherwise, it will not work. If the grounding wire is not there, then electricity also doesn't work. So it needs grounding. Any kind of energy needs grounding.
Many activities are naturally grounding. They include engaging in anything that is beautiful and pleasing to you about the physical world, such as hot showers, sunsets, walks in nature, hugging a tree, basking in the sun, sitting with your feet in a stream, listening to music with a beat, dancing, physical exercising, tending a garden, body work, massage, and lovemaking. But the most important component is your own intention, your genuine desire to be fully here in the present moment. Grounding involves keeping in touch with what you love about the physical and being willing to be here in each present moment.
So you all got it. Any kind of physical activity, anything that puts you into appreciation, anything that raises your energy level is also grounding. Let me tell you, I find hugging a tree to be immensely therapeutic for me. And the trees have so much of wisdom. They've been around for so many years and years and years. I was just watching a documentary where on trees, they're saying that these trees also have a heartbeat. They have a rhythm, right? And when you connect with that rhythm of the tree, a lot of messages and wisdom can be downloaded by us. So grounding again becomes extremely important.
Sometimes we experience unpleasant emotions or thoughts. It is important for grounding and long term happiness not to deny or suppress these, but rather feel them, express them constructively, then let go and move on. If you are angry, express it and move on. If you need to grieve, do so fully and cleanly and move on. Holding a grudge and feeling like a victim pulls you out of the present moment and buries you in the past.
So we were just monitoring a program on somatic intelligence, which was being conducted by Zia Nath. Amazing process. So she says exactly this, that today, if you are having a problem, where in your body do you feel it? She wants you to pay attention to that. Once you start paying attention to where in your body you're feeling it, then you can bring in resources, whether internal resources or external resources, to help in harmonizing the distortion of the field that you feel over there. We do the same thing with biofield tuning, that when we are bringing the fork into the field, wherever there's a distortion, the sound of the fork changes. And then using the fork, which has a pure sound, we harmonize the distortion and bring it back into our system. So whenever anything is putting us on the light side, right, left side of the grid, like when you're grieving, you're on the left side. When you're angry, you're on the left side. If you're feeling a grudge, you're on the left side. If you're feeling a victim, you're on the left side. So the idea is to first acknowledge that, yes, I am on the left side, and then bring in a resource to pull us back into the right side.
This is a positive feedback loop. The more you manifest what you desire in your life, emotionally and materially, the more you will want to be here. The more you want to be here, the more grounded you will tend to be, and the more easily you will manifest your dreams. Make some form of grounding a daily exercise. I suggest at least 15 minutes each morning and evening. I often take a short walk in the morning and evening to be in the present, enjoying nature.
Beautiful. So the idea is that what is the pattern that you are in? Something that is sucking you down or something that is pulling you up. So we need to cultivate nurturing habits, uplifting habits, rather than depleting habits.
Brief grounding exercise. Here are 5 short exercises that will help you experience and solidify each part of our grounding definition. I would recommend enjoying these grounding exercises often, perhaps doing them at least once a week. Bring your spirit fully into your body, suffusing the body with energy and light. Put on a piece of your favorite inspiring music. Let the music flow into you, moving your body in any way it desires to feel and express the joy of the music. Hold your hands out, palms open, and receive the energy of spirit, allowing it to fill your heart. Say the affirmation, I have arrived, to clarify your intention as spirit to fully embody your body.
So, what is he saying over here? Bring in the light, feel the light coming into your body system, and then move with the music. Okay. So what is happening? The rhythm of the music, the melody of the music will start moving your body. So you can increase your grounding process. Dancing is anyway a very, very grounding activity. But this is, if you do it in this way, it becomes more enhanced.
Allow the physical and emotional body to speak to you without repression.
So this is extremely important. Most of the time we are in denial. We do not want to engage anything that, that we are not comfortable with. So you need to start becoming comfortable that with which you are not facing. So most of the time we repress our fears, right? We need to face our fears to transcend them. Then only we get into that uplifting energy of taking us up and out of this, the daldal, let's put it that way.
Allow the physical and emotional body to speak to you without repression. Sit in a quiet place and scan your body for any place your attention is drawn to. Perhaps a part feels tight, sore, tired, or restless. Perhaps a part feels particularly good. Begin to write in your journal whatever comes to mind as you focus on your body. Ask the part of your body that your attention is drawn to, what is your message for me? Just record your body's truth at this moment. When this feels complete, write about what you are feeling emotionally. Write, this is silly, I have nothing to say, if that is what comes. And just keep writing until you feel you have discovered how you feel at this moment. If you get stuck, write for a while without your non-dominant hand, the hand that you normally do not write with. This tends to bring out things that may be in your unconscious at the moment.
So, the hand that you're normally writing with is what you're consciously connected to. The other hand can hook on to the unconscious. So many times when you're writing, they will tell you to switch to the right hand. This is also a major part of becoming whole-brained, which is what we are doing in hemisync, making the left and the right side of the brain go into a whole brain state. This is also the premise of something called brain gym. And it is also a very important premise of the workshop that Zia is going to now be conducting on Gurdjieff dance movements, which also help in bringing the left side and the right side of the brain into synchronicity through dance. So it's an amazing process, the Gurdjieff dance processes. Okay. Also, we need to look at our body and ask, what is the lesson that you're asking me? If I'm stuck in a situation, if I'm stuck in a pattern, I need to ask, what is the lesson that this pattern wants me to learn? Only then I can transcend it. If I'm not ready to learn the lesson, then that lesson is going to keep coming back. So let's say there's a teacher in school, right? And a student is not able to do a lesson. So isn't the teacher going to take that student again and again through that lesson? So the universe is a good teacher. So if we need to learn something and we are not learning it, that pattern is going to repeat in our lives. So over here also what he's saying is that look at the part of your body that is uncomfortable and then ask as to what do I need to learn from this discomfort so that I can transcend it.
Feel your connection with the earth and allow its sacred energy into you. If possible, go to a beautiful place in nature that calls to you. From there, or even inside your home, give thanks to the earth for supporting your life. Praise the wonderful things about being on earth for you and send your love to the earth. Then open to allow the earth's energy and love to flow back into you. Receive the energy of each of the four elements earth, air, fire, and water, imagining each as a color, sound, or smell.
So this is really beautiful. There is a biofield imaging picture that was taken by Dr. Brian Daly, where a person is standing, I think it was in Sedona, and the person is just sending blessings to the earth. And the entire field, the moment he sends the blessing, the entire field lights up in the biofield imaging. So making our connection to earth, blessing the earth, and then also being grateful that the earth is supporting us becomes a very, very powerful energy field manifester, which will definitely help us in manifesting things ultimately. Plus, the more connected we are with the elements, because ultimately we are made out of atoms and molecules, etc. But ultimately we are made out of the 5 elements, right? The Panch Tattva in the Hindu culture that we talk about: air, fire, water, earth, and space. If we make a connection to these, then automatically we will become more powerful. Interestingly, I just got my palm leaf reading done. It was pretty amazing. They really hit stuff right on the head as to what I was doing, what is happening with me right now. And interestingly, they said that I am more connected with fire, which is knowledge, and water, which is healing. So they also make that connection in the palm leaf reading.
Be fully spirit and flesh at the same time. After completing the above earth exercise, continue as follows. Allow the earth energies to continue to flow into you through your feet, or if sitting, through the base of your spine. At the same time, hold your hands up, palms open, and bring in the highest energy of spirit, imagining this as a color, sound, or smell. Let all these earth and heaven energies meet in your heart to blend and then suffuse throughout your body, allowing yourself to glow with light and be anchored with the strength of the earth at the same time.
So what does this signify? We need to be connected to the earth as well as to the spirit. And this is exactly what we are doing in biofield tuning also. One of the first steps in biofield tuning is to set the earth star right, which is the connection to the earth, and the sun star right, which is the connection to the spirit. If these two are not set properly, you will never get energy, because they are like the battery points which connects us to the equipment. Suppose you put a battery into an equipment. It is never going to work if the connections are not proper. So making our connections to the earth and to the spirit become very, very important.
Be fully in the present moment. Sit quietly and watch your thoughts. If they flick to the past or the future, just gently bring them back to observing what is going to around you and inside you at this very moment. Say the affirmation, I am here.
So being aware of our thoughts, right? Again and again, I'm repeating. Most of the time, we are either in the past or in the future. We are not in the present. So the more we can come into the present, and whatever the universe is bringing forth in front of us, we start just doing that. The more we do that, the more in the flow we become, the more in tune with the universal energies we become, and the more powerful our manifestations will become. Because you can only manifest when you are in the present. You cannot manifest when you're in the past or in the future.
How does this happen? How does happiness relate to this manifestation essential we call grounding? As mentioned, grounding is chiefly driven by your intention to be fully here in the present moment. It stands to reason that unless you are very happy to be experiencing whatever is going on, part of your attention will be attempting to get away from it, and your grounding will be less firm.
I think this is beautifully said, that we need to be present to manifest. And if we are not happy in the present, then manifestation cannot take place, or it becomes much more difficult.
I want to mention that all the energies that we will be talking about in this book, including gratitude, love, and happiness, are often thought of as emotional responses to events that occur around us. For example, we feel grateful when something good happens to us, loving when someone loves us, and happy when things are going well for us. Looking at these energies in this manner diminishes them to reactions out of our control to the environment around us. And it implies that we need certain events or circumstances in order to experience these energies. And if negative events are occurring, then our only options are to be ungrateful, unloving, and unhappy.
So what does this entire paragraph mean? That we need to keep our happiness with ourselves and not allow it to be delegated to other people or circumstances around us. So even if hell is breaking loose around us, we can still keep our happiness and our equanimity with us. There was this story, I think I've repeated it before, that during the Vietnam War, the Viet Cong and the Americans, they were firing at each other and fighting with each other. And then suddenly there was a group of monks who came through and they just started walking in the middle of the fighting, right? Now they are in a war zone. They could have got shot because of the bullet, but they had kept their equanimity and centeredness and they just walked through that zone. What happened that day was the fighting stopped and everyone went home, right? So what is it saying over here? Whatever may be happening around you, do not let yourself be dependent or your happiness be dependent on what is happening around you. Otherwise, you will go into ungratefulness and being unloving and unhappy. You will become unhappy. There's no point in it. So even in the worst of circumstances, you can find something to appreciate. And I'm learning this the hard way, and I'm personally working on this on myself also. कि जो भी हो रहा है, whatever is happening, find something to appreciate in that. That's it.
In order to have these important energies for manifestation available to us on a consistent basis, we are going to be looking at them as states of consciousness that we can generate, increase, and sustain by applying proven strategies for bringing these positive energies forth regardless of the circumstances around us. We do have a choice whether we will experience these energies frequently or experience their opposites. This is a much more powerful and responsible position.
So we need to be in a certain state of mind, in a certain state of emotional, in a certain emotional state, in a certain spiritual state to be able to manifest. Now, the more and more that we are in those states of consciousness, the more we will be able to manifest. So the idea is to understand and to be aware of when we have been able to manifest the most, and then get in or create strategies within us to be more and more in those states. Like you have something in sports people, it's called the zone, right? When a sports personality gets into the zone, then everything stops, time slows down, and whatever they do starts to work. And peak performance takes place when people get into the zone, right? Now, if a athlete can start creating that zone feel or that zone effect whenever he is in the court or he is on the field, his performance, you can understand, is bound to improve, whatever that person may be doing. And this happens for us in all fields. In sports, of course, you're getting a result immediately. But in anything that you do, you can do it in the zone. If you're cooking food, you can do it in the zone. The food that you cook, people will be licking their fingers when you serve them that food. Okay. Or if you're making a painting, when you're in that zone and you're making a painting, when people see that painting, that's the energy that will come out from the painting for them. So again, getting into these states of consciousness become extremely important when we want to really manifest powerfully.
Are you happy to be here? Happy to be here means happy to be in a physical body. This can be challenge if your body feels weak, sluggish, in pain, etc. So it becomes important to provide your body what it needs to be in joy, including great nutrition, proper rest, exercise, and just allowing that body's joy in movement to be expressed. And it is important to the extent that you can to alleviate any pain and tension through medical care, massage, yoga, etc.
So
Happy.
your comfort is important. Okay. Even in the all the Monroe workshops, we always tell you your comfort is very important. If you're not comfortable, then you will not be paying attention to what the exercise is all about. So, like that, if you're uncomfortable, then you will not be paying attention to what is happening. So, you will not be present. Okay. So, it becomes very important to take care of yourself.
Happy to be here means happy to be on this particular planet at this time. This can be very challenging because of many things. We may have lost loved ones that we miss terribly. We may have be overwhelmed with the amount of pain, stupidity, and greed we see in the world around us. We may feel a constant grinding pressure to support ourselves and to protect our loved ones. I personally suffered from significant depression from when I was about 8 years old and continuing until my 30s. Many times there were days that started with the thought, should I slit my throat or get out of bed? Followed by an extreme act of will just to put one foot in front of the other and go on with the day. I kept these thoughts private because they felt shameful, given how much better off I knew I was compared to many people on planet Earth, and this shame isolated me further.
So, all of us crib कि ये मेरा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, वैसा नहीं है. Okay, we are all cribbing, and let me tell you, all of us go through this process. I would say most of us. I can't make an assumption that most of us go through this position that, you know, what am I doing here? I might as well eject. I might as well kill myself. A lot of people go through this syndrome, right? But the fact of the matter is that we need to be happy in whatever we have. Otherwise, what are we here for? We have to also understand that we have decided to be here. So when we have decided to be here, we need to experience the experience of being here. And then, as I said, that if we can find something to appreciate in all the circumstances that are there, believe me, when you start looking, you will find something to appreciate in the worst of scenarios. Whether someone is dying, you've broken a leg, you've broken a hand, you've made a big loss, whatever it is, you will always be able to find something to appreciate, provided you're looking for finding that thing that you can appreciate. Otherwise, you're going to go into isolation and you're going to go into the sink. It really doesn't make sense.
It is important here to come to whatever philosophical or spiritual stance we need to hold the polarities, both pleasant and unpleasant, of physical life with a sense of peace. I found in my life that many things about being here on this planet, such as my brother's suicide, just broke my heart. So I divorced myself from the common cultural image of a broken heart and developed a different image of my heart as a vast ocean. If you come into my life and my heart now, it is like a hand being put into water. There is no resistance and you are completely embraced. If you leave, the water goes back to complete, perhaps losing a drop. With this ocean heart image, I can hold the pain of a loved one's struggles, the futility of war, etc., and maintain my sense of peace and being happy to be here on this beautiful planet. It does not mean that I no longer care or stop doing things to improve what I care about. But it does mean that I don't have to escape from the present and into activities that numb my mind and emotions. I help myself to stay in touch with the positive by avoiding broadcast news and being around negative people, and instead read stories about the good here. And I enjoy the planet's beauty whenever I can.
So he basically created 4 more meditations apart from liquid luck, okay, which is the ocean's heart, the heart's care. And we've been doing those meditations. In the last 4 weeks, we've actually done those meditations, except for last yesterday, right? So he created that. He's saying that he's increased the presence of his heart. And then he says, I help myself to stay positive by avoiding broadcast news. Now, again, yesterday we mentioned that today newspapers, if you pick it up, 99% or 95% negative news. If you open any news channel today, you are getting 90% negative news and they're keeping on circulating that news, right? So it's better to avoid anything that pulls you down and focus your attention on things that pull you up. Read good books, meet good people, have a laugh, play some games, right? Go into nature and appreciate nature. There is nothing negative about nature, right? You can just look at a flower and see the petals. There is so much of beauty. It is not funny. We do an exercise we call the silent walk during the gateway voyage, and in that state, when people are in that high state of focus 21, when they go out onto the lawn and start actually observing things, the colors that they see, the leaves that they see, the insects that they see, they are all wowed when they come back. Why? Because we simply don't pay attention. When we start paying attention, we find that there is so much to appreciate and beauty around us that it is not funny. Okay, so the more we connect to these uplifting things, the better off we are actually.
Can we end here today?
Yes. Okay, so we'll stop here today.